the Oversolver here, and today I'm going to be talking a bit about what 2x2 hardware you should be getting. So this isn't going to be too long of a video because 2x2 is one of those events where we kind of have hardware maxed out. Like this is the most recent 2x2 to hit the market, the Valk2, and even so, it's still it's better I think than other 2x2s, but it's not like leaps and bounds better. It's not a main killer. I could easily see someone with a WeiPo or WuXia not really wanting to take to this, but it's also really dependent on your turning style, and 2x2s are really up to personal preference. You can see I have a lot of 2x2s here, and I'm going to be kind of talking about them in terms of budget range and what you should get, and because I think the when of when you get new 2x2s is most important. So I'm going to kind of separate them out, I think, something like this. Let me get that in frame. So this one right here is the KungFuYueHun. I think it's the ChuWen. Let me see. I have the box right here. Yeah, ChuWen. Sorry. And it is a $6 2x2, and it's actually pretty old. Not a lot of, you won't see it on a lot of stores just because of how old it is. And what's interesting about it is I'm not going to take it apart because I hate putting 2x2s back together. I always end up having issues and having to unscrew half the cube. But this actually has locking edges. And what that means is the internal, these things right here, they actually lock into the centers. You can see this little, I think you can see that little indent right there, that. They can actually hook into that, and that's how they keep the cube stable. Now, the problem I've had with this is if you overshoot this, or if you turn too aggressively, it will get caught, it will pop out of this little indent right here, and then it just won't turn on one axis, or if you do, it will sound really bad. I don't really want to show it because I'm not really wanting to break this cube. I've broken a fair amount of, I've broken like 3 or 4 2x2s. It was especially early on just because of how aggressive I turned. And this thing actually exploded on me within like 3 days of me getting it or something. And I didn't take the time to put it back together until recently, but it's only $6, and I think for beginners, this is really the perfect cube. You shouldn't be spamming TPS that much, and because of how cheap it is, plus it's still pretty good even if you don't set it up. Like, this thing has never been lubed or anything, and it still works just fine. I'm sure people could get sub 3 with it pretty easily. But I don't think you'll need, you can probably use this until, I would say, maybe sub 10 range. Sub 10 or sub 6 area is sub 10 / sub 7. Those aren't real barriers, but that's just kind of where you start wanting to think about new hardware. And when you do so get this if you're just starting out. And once you do progress to that level, I think it's a choice between these 3. So this is the Valk2 M, this is the ChuWen, and this is the WuXia M. Now, I wouldn't get the WuXia M, I would just get the WuXia because I can't feel these magnets at all. When I first got the cube, I couldn't feel them. And I can't feel them now, even after I've like angstromed it and put DNM in it and all that sort of thing. So I think the Valk2 M, you can see my video on this, and this is much more geared towards faster solvers who like more controllable cubes. I personally am one of those people who really likes controllable, kind of slower style cubes because I tend to overshoot a lot. I mean, I can work on that, but this kind of just really caters to me. I used it in a competition recently, did pretty well. Got into finals, which was nice. And this is honestly my favorite 2x2 so far. And this does have springs that come with it that I think you could swap out, and you could probably make it much lighter if you wanted to. So this is, I think, the overall best. If you're looking for the all-around 2x2, the Valk2 M is it. if you are a very fast solver and someone, by very fast I mean you turn really quickly, and who doesn't like sort of, this is kind of blocky feeling. So if you like something that's kind of more just, it snaps into place and it just it can handle your fast turning, I'd say the ChuWen. The WuXia I like, but it's got this kind of, hold on, let me see if I can make it. You can kind of hear when I, yeah, like that kind of, it's got that hollow turning, and that's because of this edge design. You can see because the edges aren't filled in, as opposed to this where it's got more filled in edges. Not by much, but by some. This just kind of has that clacky, I don't like the clackiness of the WuXia. I personally, it doesn't suit me, and I haven't really seen a lot of people made it. So if you're a fast turner, I'd recommend the ChuWen. If you are someone who wants a more controllable cube, I'd recommend the Valk2 M. And as a side note, the WeiPo is also good, instead of the KungFu. But the thing about the WeiPo is that you can also set it up to be a really good cube. Like there's the Angstrom WeiPo, which is like $32, that I've messed around with a fair amount. I don't have it, but a friend does. And it's pretty heavy. It's like the Valk2. It's heavy, it's controllable, and it can handle speeds. And if you need to work on reducing it, it will help with that. Out of the box though, this thing is fast. Unless you set it up with something, it's pretty fast. And is more akin to, not that, the ChuWen. So I hope that this video helped you out. Like I said, KungFu first, then Valk2 M if you want a final verdict. And I hope this helps a lot of you when choosing a 2x2. Alright, thank you, and I hope to see you in the next video.